Hello, it is me reporting from my dorm. But I have something kind of funny. I will put it as the thumbnail to this video, the picture, so you see what I'm talking about. But it was just hilarious because there's this poster that just recently went up. The one with the Che Guevara thing came down. I think they might have had their meeting or whatever. But it was about LGBT blah blah blah. Or it was no, it's just gay and straight actually. So no, they're excluding people. How dare they? But I'm sure they include transgender and whatnot. They just didn't put it on the poster. But it said it was basically about gays and straights having a meeting. I'm like, well, what would you talk about? Oh, I'm a guy who has sex with women, and you're a guy who has sex with men. I'm there for you when you put that thing in another guy. Like, what? I'm trying to keep it, appropriate here. But, like, what? It's 2018. Like, there's no more mountains to climb. I mean, gays are basically celebrated. Like, what are you gonna talk about? You have nothing in common nowadays because it's no longer, well, yeah, you're a liberal, I'm a liberal, right? There's none of that anymore. There's not. If you don't play the identity politics game, then it doesn't really matter, does it? No. Quite obvious. But what was hilarious was I didn't notice it the first time I saw the poster because honestly I didn't read even the title. I just saw the rainbow and I thought, oh, gay. So I looked for the word gay and then gay was there and it said gay straight. So the first time I looked at it, I didn't really pay much attention to it. But the second time I looked at it, I saw that it said spectrum. That's what they're calling it. Now, SJWs have already used terms that apply to mental handicaps or mental diseases or disorders or even insanity as just things that they are experiencing. They've used those terms to refer to someone from the right wing who's hurting them in some way with their words, right? The most famous one, of course, and everyone makes fun of it now, but when it first came out, they were using it and they didn't even realize what it meant, was triggered. Now, triggered has to do with PTSD. And some of these girls are like, you caused me PTSD. Usually I say girls because usually it's white girls. But that's the mainline demographic. Doesn't sound very diverse to me. But anyway, I go, you triggered me, right? Yeah, you're triggering me. Oh my gosh. It refers to PTSD. People with actual PTSD are triggered by certain phrases, words, or events, even certain actions or certain words, right, that refer to the traumatic experience. So, for example, if you use the word die in a sentence, and there's some, soldier sitting next to you who's got PTSD and his best friend died overseas, they grew up together, ended up being in the same company, and his friend gets his head just gets a hollow point right through the skull, then you're going to be he's going to be possibly triggered by that word. But on this thing they had spectrum. Now the thing with spectrum is that what they don't realize is not only is it a cable company, but Spectrum refers to autism. Again, using the word, not knowing what it means, not realizing what they're doing. They're basically mocking mentally disabled people. And not in a funny way. Not like, sorry, I'm just slightly autistic. Like, that's funny, right? No, they're not doing it jokingly. They're doing it unironically. Well, the only irony is that they don't realize what it... They're using it to try to promote some noble agenda, and they're totally blindsided to the fact that they're basically just trivializing autism. Spectrum. We're going to do a thing called spectrum. What about the autism spectrum, you morons?